I have looked at what's going on with Brexit, and I think it is absolutely amazing. I've never been more sure, sooner than I have with this since I saw the Michael Hastings assassination. Look at what happened last week. We had about Tuesday, we saw there'd been gradual momentum building for the Leave campaign, for Britain to leave the European Union. And of course, this is a very key issue for them. Very key issue for, and let me tell you what's at stake with it. Listen to some of these headlines. We've got Germany. They say they fret about their EU dominance if Britain were to vote to leave, because, they're using Britain as a beard to say, oh, no, you don't have to worry about us. We also got Britain as a counterbalance. At the same time, I saw this on a car website, the Daily Mail. BMW urges voters to reject the Brexit to protect its investment in Mini and Rolls-Royce. And they started out the article by saying the German car giant behind two of Britain's most famous car-making brands, Mini and Rolls-Royce, has once more urged the UK to vote against Brexit. So you see, it's all the big politicians, it's the big corporations, especially the German ones. And I would have to say, if I was British, I'd have to look at this and say, you know what, yeah, Mini used to be a German company, not just used to be a British company, not just a British brand. So did Rolls-Royce. The Germans have taken that over. And the Germans are taking over the rest of the economy here in Britain as well. Do you want financial independence in Britain? Do you want to be ruled not only by Germany, but by Brussels, by a bureaucracy that doesn't have your best interest involved? As we're talking about this, as you have this consolidation from the national to the international level, and from the international level of the European Union to go to a kind of globalism that this transatlantic partnership will bring in, every time you go up another level, you lose so much about your individual liberty. Look at what's happening in Sweden. They're saying, well, a British exit could lead to a Sweden exit. Brexit could lead to Swexit, they say. And it's because Sweden opened its door to Muslim immigration. Today, it's the rape capital of the world. That didn't happen in Japan or other places like that. That's an article from the Daily Caller contrasting the two of those. Even the Federal Reserve is getting into the Brexit vote. The Federal Reserve says Brexit is a factor. And considering what it's going to do with interest rates, they're holding those to see what's going to go on. So we've seen this go over and over again. Washington Post says Britain's European Union vote could bring Cameron's government crashing down. So you got James Cameron's government could crash. The Federal Reserve would feel like they were impacted. The big German companies, as well as multinational corporations that are pushing these things through, they feel like they would be affected. The banks, of course, the banks. Do you think these people who have trillions of dollars at stake would orchestrate the murder of a young MP in order to win this thing? Of course they would. And look at what's happened. June 13th, Leave takes a shocking 19-point lead in the Brexit poll. So they were ahead by 19 points. But then, as soon as this murder happened, as soon as the mainstream media puts out this narrative that this was a hate crime by somebody who was connected to white supremacist groups in the United States, and that hit the very day it happened. Immediately, the Southern Poverty Law Center, as well as some neo-Nazi group that I've never heard of that basically doesn't amount to anything. All of a sudden, they've got all the receipts from where this guy bought everything 15, 17 years ago, 1999, okay? All this stuff surfaces. And we're told that he was doing this as a hate crime. And now what do we see? We now see that Leave is behind by 3 points, 42 to 45. They're not allowed to talk about this. Only the people who want to remain talk about it. They wave the bloody shirt. They talk about how this is a crime of hate. And they have stunned the Leave people into silence. They won't defend themselves. Just like in the past, we had people who were honest gun owners who wouldn't stand up and say, you're not going to hang that crime on me. It doesn't have anything to do with that as a crime. Stay